welcome to University Television Presents. I'm Anna Silver. Today my guest is someone who attended the University of Idaho and studied English and philosophy. He graduated from the University of Washington with his PhD in philosophy. He now teaches courses in philosophy, and he is the Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences here at Boise State. I'd like to welcome Dr. Tony Rourke. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for coming.
Sure.
I'd like to start out with talking about your background in high school and college. You graduated from Meridian High School, actually, and then you attended, of course, the University of Idaho. Can you go more into that?
Sure. Yeah. As you said, I attended Meridian High School in the mid-'80s. It was a very interesting time in West Ada, as they now call it. It was still largely rural, and so some of my classmates were driving tractors to high school, which was very large at the time. It was the only high school, and so there were over 2,000 students, and so it was not an ideal situation either for the students or for the teachers. But graduated from Meridian High in the mid-'80s, as I said, and moved up north to Moscow and attended college at the University of Idaho. I actually came to Boise State for a semester and had a very good experience here. I took my first logic class here in a linguistics course and Shakespeare class, which I enjoyed quite a bit. As you said, I was an English major going into my undergraduate career, and that was driven largely by the fact that I had a scholarship in English. So it was, as much as anything, a practical decision on my part to help pay for college, but I really did enjoy literature and writing, in fact. But I took my first philosophy course as a sophomore, and I got the bug, as they say, and this is how most philosophers get into the profession, is by stumbling across a course, getting infected with the philosophy bug, and stuck with it, and just decided that I wanted to pursue that. So.
And once you chose philosophy and English, did you know you wanted to teach in a university environment one day?
Yeah, I had a pretty good sense early on in my undergraduate career that the kind of rhythm of the academic year and the opportunity to explore new areas of interest and to meet new people and to work with really smart people was something that I really enjoyed. And I thought, if I could do this as my job, that would just be really cool. And so I decided fairly early on in my undergraduate career that that's what I wanted to do.
So you taught at Ohio State for 1 year, and then you came back here to Boise State. What made you decide to come back?
Well, a lot of things, actually. Ohio State is a very, very large university, and it was a fantastic opportunity for me, a great experience there. It was a little hard, I would say, for my wife and me moving from Seattle. As you said, I attended the University of Washington to Columbus, Ohio. Hadn't spent much time in the Midwest, and we were accustomed to seeing volcanoes and mountain ranges off in the distance in Seattle there. And Columbus, Ohio is very flat, and it's different culturally, and I don't think we really appreciated just to what extent we're Westerners. We kind of have the West and the Intermountain West in our bones. And so after a year there, it was not a permanent position, but I was looking around for a permanent job in philosophy. And one of the graduate students at Ohio State approached me one day and said, "Hey, Dr. Rourke, did you see that Boise State's hiring in ancient philosophy?" And I thought, well, that's kind of a cruel joke. Why would you do that? That's my hometown. Don't pull my leg like that. And she said, "No, I'm serious. You should really check it out." So sure enough, I looked at the job ad, and they were hiring in my very area. And I thought, well, this is once in a lifetime chance. So wife and I moved back to Boise, and I worked for a year as an adjunct in the philosophy department while they were conducting the search. And apparently I convinced them that I was good enough to hire, and so they hired me, and that was the beginning of a really great career here at Boise State.
And so that was pretty perfect. Can you tell me more about your experience here as the Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences and how that happened?
Sure. I guess my experience at Boise State, no matter what my role has been, has had a common theme, and that is one of change and progress. And so when I came in 2000 and had my first year here as an adjunct instructor, the campus looked very different. The sentiment among students and faculty was quite different. The level of activity was quite different. And over the past 15 years, it's really just taken off. Amazing things are happening everywhere on campus. And so, I saw that occurring in the early portions of the 2000s, and then it really just kind of seemed to accelerate. I moved into the department chair position in 2007, and then Associate Dean of Arts and Sciences in 2009. And again, it was the same theme: constant change, retooling programs, larger and larger enrollments of students, which is always exciting. And then as dean, it's really been the same theme. We are hiring fantastic faculty. We're getting incredible students. Our students are more engaged now than they've ever been, and so it's just a pleasure to see what every new year brings. I'm always surprised.
So what other organizations are you involved in at Boise State as a faculty member, as the dean? What other things are you involved in?
Aside from meetings, you mean?
Yes, yeah.
I go to a lot of meetings, and those are necessary, and many of them are very productive. Some are even pleasant. I'm a member of the Dean's Council, and so we meet quite regularly with the provost, and we discuss fairly high-level issues relating to academics at Boise State, and we sometimes make decisions, and we weigh in on policy and address problems and challenges that we're facing. But probably more interesting for our purposes, I served as the faculty advisor to the philosophy club for a good number of years, and that was very rewarding because these were students, of course, I had in my class, and I got to recruit students to the club, and we had service activities and brought in speakers and did a lot of fun things there. I have more recently served as the faculty advisor to a fraternity, Delta Upsilon, a great group of guys, and so it's been fun interacting with them. It's a much broader range of majors and academic programs there. So, there's some engineers in there and some health sciences students and education students, so that's been a lot of fun. I'm involved in some activities that are less squarely academic, so I'm the Dean's Council representative on Bronco Day planning, and we've had one Bronco Day. I don't know whether you remember that. It was targeted mostly for new students and for their families, and it was an incredible success last April, and so we've just begun planning for the next Bronco Day, and so that's quite a lot of fun as well.
That's great. So you're planning some new things for the up-and-coming freshmen.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yep.
So the College of Arts and Sciences is the largest academic unit here at Boise State. What do you think are some of the biggest contributions that the college contributes to the Boise State?
Well, how much time do we have? Because I could go on for probably 30 or 40 minutes here. I'll try to be selective. As you know, as a student yourself, first-year students take first-year writing, English 101 or 102, and math and science and all of the disciplinary lens courses, and the vast majority of those courses are in arts and sciences. And so we have a very strong commitment to providing the kind of general education, foundational coursework, and liberal education that all Boise State students have. And so we touch nearly every student who comes to campus in that regard. We also have, of course, our own programs, and so every department has, a number of baccalaureate or master's or terminal degree programs, PhD and MFA programs, and we're very proud of those, very high quality there as well. In addition to that, we have the arts departments, and so students will probably encounter our activities even outside the classroom if they go to see a student play in the Danny Peterson Theater, or if they go to a football game and they see the Blue Thunder Marching Band. And so we really have tentacles out in all kinds of different areas of campus that may be sort of more obviously arts and sciences, or maybe less obviously so.
So the college has actually won a lot of awards and honors. What do you think makes the college so distinguished?
It's true that our faculty and students have been recognized quite a lot over the years with Fulbright Awards and Distinguished Faculty Awards and those kinds of things. And I think that our greatest asset really is the diversity of expertise and methods and values that we have. We run the gamut from art to physics, anthropology to world languages, and everything in between. And so we have a lot of really smart people who are committed, who care about students, who are passionate about their own work. And so when you have that kind of diversity and that kind of mix, there's pretty incredible things will come from that.
Yeah, and so there are a lot of research projects going on within the college, such as the Hemingway Western Studies Center and the Raptor Research Center. Can you expand more on those and what's going on?
Sure. The term research has a very broad application in arts and sciences because, as I said, we have practitioners from very diverse disciplines. So in the English department, we have creative writers who are producing novels and short stories and collections of poems, and that counts as research for them. We have faculty in biological sciences who are, discovering new advances towards curing cancer, or who are in the field studying raptors, as you mentioned, studying populations, disease, migratory patterns, general health of the ecosystem. That counts as research for them. And we have faculty who engage in what might come to mind to a high school student, for example, when she thinks of research, which is, going to the library or going to an archive and collecting lots and lots of books and then taking them back to the office and poring over those and pounding away at the keyboard for months or even years to produce a manuscript or journal articles. So there too, in addition to reaching so many students in so many different ways and contributing to the academic life of the university, we also contribute a lot of value in terms of culture in the Treasure Valley, whether that's in the theater or in the recital hall or in the art galleries, but also to the local economy with our research. We have a lot of standing arrangements with local and state and federal agencies dealing with environmental issues and things like that. And social research as well. So, with the growth in the Treasure Valley, everyone's very interested in thinking about quality of life and thinking about amenities. So Greenbelt study, for example, last year conducted by folks in some of our departments, those are really valuable things to us. And so understanding them in a fairly careful kind of way and planning in a smart way is really important to all of us.
So on your website, you talk about an instrumentation shop. Can you explain more about that?
Sure. Our scientific instrumentation shop, physically anyway, is a collection of, depending on how you count, 3 or 4 rooms in the science building down on the first floor in the northwest corner, and it's chock full of, as the name suggests, instrumentation. So we have a CNC router, we have a CNC milling machine, all kinds of woodworking equipment, and it is staffed by 2 employees, two full-time employees, and 1 student employee. We have a work-study student who's working in there right now. And they do everything from building bird boxes by the hundreds, literally, to take out in the field and conduct surveys for kestrels or whatever the species in question might be, to programming and designing sensors that will be parts of robots that are sort of crawling across the tundra in Greenland. So it's there too. It's an incredible array of products and expertise that the folks in the shop bring.
That's so cool. So I'm going to move along. Psychology majors and communication majors actually make up the most students within the College of Arts and Sciences. What do you think attracts students to those majors?
That's a good question, and I've thought a bit about that. And you're right, both psychology and communication are very large in terms of their number of majors. They're both hovering right above 800. And in fact, biological sciences is also right around 100. So between those 3 departments, we have just shy of half of all of the majors in the college. We're at about 5,500 students right now in terms of our majors alone. But with respect to psychology and communication in particular, my guess is, of course, different people have different motives and different interests, but I think that generally speaking, students come to the university with some kind of preconception of what it is that they want to study. And many high schools offer communication courses. Often it's in the form of media or journalism or those kinds of things. And psychology is a staple of most of the high schools in the area and probably across the entire country. And so to the extent that students enjoy their experience in those classes, they come to the university thinking, as I did, as I described, hey, I think I'd like to pursue that as a career. And so they get into our programs, and many of them stick around, and many students migrate to those programs as well. But what we've learned is that first-year students, over half of them change their major at least once. And so there's a lot of fluidity and a lot of coming and going in and out of programs, and that's okay, because from my point of view, part of the value of an undergraduate degree is having that opportunity to really explore different areas, including ones that you're very familiar with and interested in, and some that may be new to you and that you don't know much about, just to discover what are your interests, what are your passions, what are your strengths, and what are your next plans in life.
So what would you encourage students who are, in a major in the college, what would you encourage them to take advantage of while they're here at Boise State?
Well, in your first year, sample broadly. Be very thoughtful about your disciplinary lens courses and satisfying the general education requirements. I know it's very tempting to choose classes based on schedule, what fits my work schedule, what fits into the other courses that I have to take. And that, from a practical standpoint, that makes good sense. But, push the envelope a little bit and don't be so quick to plug that class in just because it fits into your schedule. So take a course that's going to challenge you. Maybe you go in with a friend. You say, you know what, I will go with you into a class if you come with me. So I get to choose one, you get to choose one. So there are just so many great faculty members and so many exciting opportunities here that it would really be a shame if a student came in and said, I want to have a career in X, and I see that the clearest path to getting there is doing these courses in this sequence, and it will be most convenient for me. There's value in convenience, and there's value in having a clear vision of what your future is or what you think it should be, but often our futures surprise us, and so exploring and discovering ourselves and making ourselves is really valuable. Outside of academics, I always encourage students to think about co-curricular and extracurricular activities, because those can be hugely influential and valuable, whether that's being a member of a student club, and of course we have well over 200 student organizations on campus, and it just runs the gamut. We've got Quidditch Club and Philosophy Club and Theater Majors Association, so there's a lot of variety there and a lot of networking and friend making that can be done there, great support systems. But we also have service learning opportunities that will get you out in the community and connect you with nonprofit organizations and other folks doing good things in the community, where you get to exercise the skills and bring the knowledge that you're learning to bear and really kind of understand and appreciate what the value of it is outside of the classroom. Internships are huge, obviously. Not every student elects to take one, and that's okay. We probably couldn't sustain an internship for every single student on campus, but really look at those and talk to your academic advisor about that, because that practical experience can really give you a taste for what it's like to use those skills and knowledge that you're working on.
And you spoke of networking. Are there any resources for students to prepare for their career after they graduate here from Boise State?
Yes, so we have a fantastic career center, and my office works closely with the Career Center to help students understand that it's a resource for them, but also to bring to the students some kind of first-order materials to put in their hands about career exploration and thinking about, well, if you're majoring in program Y, what might that equip you to do once you graduate? Are you thinking about graduate school? Are you thinking about work in nonprofit or maybe a government job or going into industry? And I think many students come to Boise State with, as I said, a fairly clear vision of what it is that they have in mind, and sometimes that's under the influence of their parents' expectations, which I quite understand as a parent myself. But again, our futures can surprise us, and this is really one of the best opportunities in life to sort of take the full view of what's possible for you, and to explore some areas where you might not consider yourself to be particularly strong, because it often turns out that your calling lies in something that you maybe hadn't considered before. So we work very closely with the Career Center, and we help them develop some programming to bring students together and to mix with one another, to mix with employers, to mix with graduate program representatives. So I think that works quite well.
That's a great resource. So there are 1,942 seniors within the...
To be precise.
Exactly. Within the college. Why do you think that is? Is that because of CWI coming in and the kids are transferring over? Or?
Right. So the number you mentioned is the highest number by class of all 4 classes in our undergraduate majors, and it's I think the juniors may be around 1,200 or something like that. So it's a pretty significant difference. And it's not that uncommon. It is kind of surprising. You might think that that really the largest number would be freshman students, because that's, they're all coming in at that same time, right? But in fact, if you think about how the credits are structured and define class rank, there's no upper limit on senior. So we have some seniors who are at 100 credits and some seniors who are at 130 credits or even 150 credits. And while that's not something that we encourage overtly, we do recognize that students transfer in with a good number of credits. Students do change majors. Students do pair up different majors or a number of minors to have a kind of a bundle of academic experience that can be quite valuable for them. So that's part of the explanation. And maybe that's a large part of the explanation. So I'll go with that.
All right, well, thank you. So as of June 30th, 2015, the College of Social Sciences and Public Affairs was eliminated and then relocated to the College of Arts and Sciences, of course, and the School of Public Service. What was the reasoning behind that?
Yeah, that's a good question. This is a pretty significant change to the structure of the university and of academic affairs in particular. And that was motivated by one of Boise State's core competencies and one of our missions. And so the institutions of higher education in Idaho all have specific mandates from the State Board of Education. And one of the mandates for Boise State is policy and public service. And over time, it occurred to the upper administration that the College of Social Sciences and Public Affairs wasn't clearly focused on that mandate that we have from the State Board. And so started considering the possibility of returning some of the programs that once were part of arts and sciences to the college. And in fact, that's what happened, as you mentioned. So anthropology, communication, history, and sociology were returned to arts and sciences, and then for good measure, psychology, which was once part of education before it went into SSPA, came to arts and sciences as well. That's a good fit for that department. And that allowed the other departments, criminal justice, political science, military science, public policy, and administration, to really focus on that mandate that we have in policy and public service. And with the new dean on board, Corey Cook, I think they have a very bright future, and I look forward to working with them.
And have the departments gone through any major changes, or are they all pretty staying the same, just relocated?
Yeah, that's a good question. They really were just sort of ported from SSPA into arts and sciences. I thought it was terribly important that there not be any big changes at the department level, because that's a very significant change to be relocated within the organization in the way that they were. I couldn't rule out the possibility of doing some kind of restructuring at the department level within the college. I don't have any plans to do that right now, and my sense is that for the 5 departments that came in, and the programs, a few college level programs as well, independent of those departments, that they're finding the transition to be hospitable and fairly smooth.
Great. So what are some of the things that you would like to see happen in the future with the College of Arts and Sciences, things that you're looking forward to?
That's also a good question. Well, we need space. We have more and more students taking chemistry and biology and physics, and a lot of that is due to the growth in engineering and in the health sciences as well, which is a very good thing. We support that very strongly, but we're running out of classrooms and laboratories to teach those students in. So we really need some additional facilities. We have some fundamental needs in the physical plant. So a new science building, I think, is very important to help serve those students. I would also be very thrilled if we could get a medium-sized performance hall. The Boise area has been clamoring for many years to have roughly a 750-seat performance hall, something that's smaller than the Morrison Center main hall, something that's larger than the SPEC, and that's a really big undertaking. So I don't anticipate that we will be pursuing that goal in the immediate future, but I would really love to see that happen. I also would like to see even greater collaboration occurring between the departments in the college and with departments outside the college. We have a very strong record of collaborating with our colleagues in different departments and in other colleges, but we can strengthen that even more. And that is easier to some extent with the creation of the College of Innovation and Design and Dean Gordon Jones. They're doing a fantastic job of bringing faculty in and helping them to partner on academic and research projects. And so I think that we'll be doing that in the future as well.
Great. So you mentioned some new buildings. Are there any plans or proposals in the works for those new buildings?
Yes, so we have well-developed plans for a new fine arts building, which is very much needed. We're out of space for students in art and for students who want to take art classes but aren't able to, largely because of the facilities limitations. We also have some safety concerns, quite honestly. The industrial hygiene that's required for art programs is almost on a par with chemistry. And so the materials that are used, whether that's metal that's being heated or melted, whether that's glazing that's in powder form and then is liquefied and applied to greenware, these have heavy metals in them, and so we need to put the safety of students and our employees first. And right now we have facilities that do that, but we can do better. And as it just so happens, the design for the new building is amazing. It's going to be iconic and will look unlike anything else that's on campus. And so we also get a work of art in the deal, in addition to having a space for our students and faculty to work.
Wow, I'm looking forward to that as well.
I am too.
Well, Tony, I only have a couple more minutes. Is there anything else that you would like to say today about the College of Arts and Sciences, or any last words?
Yeah, I'm just really proud of our students. You guys do a great job with this program, and of our faculty and staff as well. We have a great culture, and we're building that culture and that identity as we've expanded and coming to understand more clearly what our role is at the university and what our role is in the Treasure Valley and in the broader community. And we're really committed to delivering on that and creating a lot of value and preserving value as well. So just really proud to be part of the organization and proud of students as well. So nice job.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Rourke.
My pleasure.
Thank you for tuning in to University Television Presents. I'm Anna Silver, and have a great day.